Welcome our Somerset Berkley Raiders football team
out
onto the field.
Stadium. JJ Sylvia along with my cousin Carter Sylvia for tonight's SCC tilt that could be shaping up to be an early season South Coast Conference championship. Teams come into this one 4-1.
Please remain standing
and
direct your attention to the front of the walking track for the playing of our national anthem, which will be performed tonight by the Somerset Berkley Marching Band.
For those festivities and see you on the other side on Somerset Access TV.
Fans, let's hear it once again for the Somerset Berkley Marching Band.
Back on Somerset Access TV, JJ Sylvia along with Carter Sylvia as we get set to go. Another edition of Friday Night Lights here at Hanson Memorial Stadium. And tonight, Carter, a pink out theme to support breast cancer awareness.
I mean, it's always a great cause, and the jerseys and the colors look really cool.
Obviously it is. It takes a real man to wear pink. That's something I always heard growing up, and I think it reigns true tonight. Some amazing young men out on the field for both squads. 2 4-1 teams, both sitting tied atop the South Coast Conference, get set to do battle. Old Rochester Regional won the toss and deferred to the second half, so Somerset Berkley will get the ball first. Finn Crook and Brandon Medeiros back to receive. Kickoff is up. It's a short one, falls into the hands of Bjork. Finn Bjork breaks some tackles at the 30, across the 35, and tumbling forward to the 40-yard line. Carter, about a 20-yard return there on that kickoff to get us started.
That's a huge start for Somerset Berkley, and that's how you get the momentum in your favor.
Momentum's going to be a big theme all night. Both these squads pretty much evenly matched on paper. Offensively, they're both high-powered. Defensively, they're both stingy as heck. This game should really shape up to be a battle of the Titans tonight.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Both really have high-powered offense and defenses. Let's see what they can do.
Back to the wing tee for the Raiders. Brendan McDonald is in there at quarterback once again. No surprise. First snap to McDonald, some early movement before the snap, no flags come down, and about a 1-yard rush there. I think that was Finn Crook. Brings up a 2nd down and 9.
75, Brendan Spinard in on the stop.
Spinard on the tackle for Old Rochester. Some notables for the Bulldogs coming into this one. Gavin Martin, Devin St. Germain, Jake Profit, Jack LeConte, Sawyer Johnson, as well as others to be mentioned tonight for this Bulldog squad. And Carter, we were talking in pregame about the bulk of the defensive and offensive lines for the Bulldogs, and tonight we're seeing it in full force right away.
I mean, yeah, you have 2 guys over 6'4", way over 250 pounds, and they are huge on that D and offensive line.
McDonald breaks free. What can I say about Brendan McDonald? He is unstoppable. Touchdown, Somerset Berkley. And what a start to this one in a game that was thinking we would probably see more of an evenly matched. It seems the Raiders are off to a fast start, Carter.
Seems like every time we talk about the both teams, Somerset or the other team scores a touchdown, and that's a great run by Brendan McDonald, and he's continuing his momentum from last game.
McDonald had a duo of rushing touchdowns in last week's game that we covered here on Somerset Access TV. And another one added to the stat sheet for this season. McDonald, one of the top touchdown getters in the South Coast. And that kick from Kevin Dos Santos is up and good. 7-0 Raiders to start this one. Carter, a basically 2-3 play drive right there. You got to love that if you're head coach Nick Freitas.
I mean, yeah, it definitely comes important for the end of the game when your offense is less tired.
Now the Raiders getting set to kick off to the Bulldogs. I mentioned Gavin Martin earlier. There was a really good article on him in the Cape Cod Times earlier this year, praising his ability to read defenses, his ability to break down man-to-man coverage, his ability to adjust the play at the line of scrimmage, and even scramble sometimes. Somerset Berkley's defense is going to have their hands full tonight, Carter.
He's an exceptional quarterback, 6'1", 185, great arm, and he's going to be a lot to handle for the Somerset defense.
Dos Santos, who just kicked that extra point, looking like he will do the kickoff duties as well for the Raiders tonight. Sometimes we'll see him, sometimes Finn Bjork. But on this one, it's Dos Santos.
Number 8, Kevin Dos Santos.
10:59 to go in the first quarter, and the Raiders already up 7-0, kicking off to the rival Bulldogs. Dos Santos with the left foot. It's a squib kick fielded at about the 47 of OR. Let's see if they can run it back a bit. They will to about the 50-yard line, and that is where Gavin Martin and the Bulldog offense will start. Carter, let's talk a little bit about some key points we want to watch on this Bulldogs offense.
I mean, it's mainly their passing game. Let's see what the Somerset Berkley cornerbacks have a lot to handle with these wide receivers, and especially how the quarterback can read the defense.
That secondary, which I talked about before at length, missing a man tonight in Cullen Doherty, out with an injury. Zach King also out on the offensive end for the Raiders. It's a run play on the first go for the Bulldogs. Gavin Martin to the outside will get the first down and more, down to about the 33. Carter, a nice 15, 16, 17-yard chunk right there for Martin on the ground.
Hey, you said we got to watch him as a player. He's dangerous, and he just showed what he can do on the field.
On the run for Martin. 1st and 10 from the Raider 35-yard line.
Ball spotted at the Somerset Berkley 35-yard line. So the offense for the Raiders came out firing on all cylinders, and now Old Rochester doing exactly the same, putting together a nice drive to get this game started here at Hanson Memorial. The sun's pretty much set. The lights are on. The fans are filing in by the hundreds. Martin takes the snap. It's a pitch to the left. Moving down the left side and getting tackled is Cameron Pepin. He gets about 6 yards on that one, maybe 5.
Number 22, Finn Bjork on the tackle.
Bjork with the tackle for the Raiders, but Pepin, another one of those players we want to watch, listed at 6 foot, 175 pounds. Plays running back and defensive back, so speed is definitely one of his best assets, Carter.
Yeah, but great tackle there by Finn Bjork. If he doesn't get that tackle, that's a huge game for Old Rochester.
Most definitely, especially with the speed of Pepin that we were talking about before. I formation look here for Martin. Handoff once again up the middle. Some great blocking. Another first down up for Old Rochester. Tackle made
Carried by
at about the 19-yard line.
Tackle made by number 4, Seth Mello.
Seth Mello on the tackle for the Raiders.
1st and 10 from the Raider 18-yard line.
Both of these teams have prolific running games with multiple running backs that can put up 100-yard games at any given point. Martin, I formation look again. Handoff this time right back up the middle. It's LeConte. LeConte gets about half of the yardage needed for another first down. It'll bring up a 2nd and about 6 or 5.
It's pronounced LeConte.
Gain of 3 on the play, 2nd down and 7 from the 15.
LeConte, Tucker, Roy, both of them will see many touches tonight at the running back position for Old Rochester. Martin, another snap and a handoff to LeConte up the middle, breaks one tackle and bulldozes McDonald towards the end zone. Touchdown, Old Rochester.
15-yard touchdown.
So Carter, Old Rochester, with a much more methodical drive than Somerset Berkley, but just as effective.
I mean, yeah, this game's going to be a battle, and I'm really excited to see what both teams can do.
Extra point forthcoming. Nolan Blanchett to do the kicking here. Good hold, it's up and good. And we have a tie ball game once more. 8 minutes, 29 seconds left in quarter number one. It is 7-7 here in Somerset.
Somerset Berkley 7 and Old Rochester 7.
So Carter, you've been following this rivalry for the last couple of years here as a student at Somerset Berkley. What are your first impressions here after these first two offensive drives, one from each side?
This game's going to be a barn burner. It's either going to be a lot of points or not a lot of points at all. But I know what Coach Fraser to say to this team. It's not. Don't give up. I know you're going to get tired, but you have to pull through.
And as we get through down the home stretch of this game, I'm sure we'll start to see fatigue play a factor, especially when the skill is so even between these two squads. Now Old Rochester set to kick off. Blanchett doing the duties once more. Usual suspects back for the Raiders: Bjork, McDonald, and Crook. Blanchett improves on his kickoff this time. Crook there to receive it at about the 12-yard line. Finn Crook moves right across the 25 and over to the 30. Might even be a face mask to add some extra yards to that. Let's see what the call is from the refs. Looked like a little bit of a jerk on the face mask. Let's see. Flag was thrown.
The flag is a face mask against Old Rochester.
And my hunch was correct, Carter. So the Raiders getting a little bit of a gift here. Let's see if they can continue that magic from the first drive.
It's a costly penalty by Old Rochester, but it's great for Somerset Berkley. Let's see what they can do with this good field position.
Ball is spotted at the 36-yard line of the Raiders. Second offensive drive of the game. McDonald back into the wing tee. He has Meehan right behind him. Bjork to his right. Snap to McDonald and the handoff to Meehan. Liam Meehan breaks one tackle and another able to grab the first down, but it might be coming back. Carter, what did you see there?
Looked like a hold on the offensive line for Somerset Berkley.
And it is another face mask, actually. So extra yardage added onto that play. Two face masks in the last few seconds here for the Old Rochester Bulldogs, Carter. I'm sure their head coach right now in Bryce Gilboa is really going to have to make some adjustments in terms of tackling with his boys in the locker room at halftime.
I think at halftime the coach is going to go to the locker room and say, we got to stop these penalties. It's what's going to cost us the game.
When you have two even teams like this, I'm going to sound like a broken record for most of the night, folks, but when teams are so even like this, Carter's point is more than correct. You cannot have the mistakes. Every small mistake that you make, every error, that is costly. McDonald once again the handoff to Crook, this time running left. Finn Crook with some room, has enough for the first down and fights his way for an extra yard. Carter, Somerset Berkley, after letting Brendan McDonald do most of the running on that first drive. Now we're seeing the running backs get involved to try and resemble Old Rochester's attack.
It looked a lot like Old Rochester's first drive. Gritty runs, 10-yard runs that will get you touchdowns.
A fast-moving first quarter, much faster, in my opinion, than the last game we were covering here at Hanson Memorial Stadium. 7 minutes, 18 seconds and counting to go in quarter number one. Somerset Berkley driving, looking for another score. McDonald shotgun formation this time. Two receivers right and one left with Meehan in the backfield with him. Snap to McDonald. He'll take it this time himself, looking for a lane, and he is stuffed up. Barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Carter, how do we feel about that decision by Brendan McDonald?
It's a tough one. There was no real place to go, but great job by the Old Rochester D-line to stuff it up.
We're talking about the size of the Bulldog defensive line earlier, and right there we see how size can play a factor, especially in these South Coast Conference games. 6.5 to play, quarter one. Looking like another shotgun look for McDonald, and that is the case. This time, two receivers right and one left, and Meehan to his right. Snap to McDonald. Back to throw, looking like a potential pass play. McDonald looking to throw, and incomplete. Looked like Mello had it with one toe down, but I guess the referees saw it differently, Carter.
Great play call, though, by Coach Freitas, and they'll probably keep using that for the rest of the game.
McDonald has shown an ability to be precise with his passing, especially on the run thus far this year, so I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Freitas digs into his bag of tricks in terms of passing over the next couple of quarters to see what he can do to catch the Old Rochester defense off guard.
3rd down and 10.
3rd and 10 coming up for the Raiders. A drive that started off promising has suddenly stalled. Let's see if Brendan McDonald and the offense can get it back up and running. Sometimes an offense can be like an old diesel engine. Bobbled snap there by McDonald. He's going to have to try and run it. Able to get the sideline. McDonald stutter step to about the 23.
Brendan McDonald on the quarterback keeper.
It'll bring up about a 4th down and 4.5 for the Raiders. And now Freitas has a decision to make: kick or go for it. Here, Carter.
I think he goes for it. You got to be aggressive in these games, because if you're not aggressive, the other teams could take advantage.
Looks like a gain of 4 yards on the play. 4th down and 6.
4th and 6. So a little bit further back than I first assumed. Nonetheless, it looks like the Raider offense will stay on the field. Another shotgun look for Brendan McDonald. Meehan to his right. Dos Santos, the receiver, left. And then Crook and Bjork to the right. That pass knocked down. A nice defensive play by Brody Hiles.
Resulting in a turnover on downs.
So it'll be a turnover on downs, Carter. Not the result that the Raiders would have wanted on that drive, but also not a bad place to go for it on 4th, considering it's tough field position to start out for the Old Rochester offense.
I mean, yeah, it's great. It's not a bad place to lose it on 4th down, but great zone coverage by Old Rochester. Finn Bjork was wide open, and that player came and swatted the ball down.
For Old Rochester.
Yeah, really good field awareness by Brody Hiles there. I think he was trying to sit back on it, watch the quarterback's eyes, and then he saw where McDonald was going and was able to step in front and swat that pass away. Second offensive drive for the Bulldogs. Running right is Martin. He'll get about 4 yards.
Quarterback keeper. Tackle made by number 22, Finn Bjork.
Carter, I hate to make so many comparisons, but it almost seems like Old Rochester is resembling Somerset Berkley's offense all of a sudden now, with more of these QB keeps running right and left.
I mean, Somerset Berkley is a great secondary, so I can see why they're running the ball a lot.
For sure, Carter. I'm sure head coach Bryce Gilboa came into this game understanding that. I'm sure he knew that the secondary was going to lock down most of his best receivers. Another running play here for the Bulldogs. Looks like they have enough for the first down. At least based on the spot at the moment, looks like they have it. We'll await official word from the referees. It is a first down.
Number 8,
Old Rochester fighting for every single yard right now, Carter. The Raiders' defense seems to be on their heels.
I mean, yeah, they have to watch out because a big play could break out here.
33-yard line.
Nick Freitas needs to come up with a clutch play call here to prevent that big play that Carter foresees. 4.5 still to go in this first quarter. Tie ball game 7-7 between these South Coast Conference Titans. Another handoff, and this time Finn Bjork stepping right in to make the tackle after maybe a half-yard gain, if that.
Yeah, you can't run his way or he'll crush you.
Number 9,
Finn Bjork standing at 6'4". We mentioned it a bit last time. He was on the Final Four Somerset Berkley basketball team from last season, usually played at the center and power forward position. I was actually able, Carter, I believe you were there with me as well, to attend the Elite 8 game that Somerset hosted in the Veterans Memorial Gym. And in that game, Bjork showed so much physicality. So I'm not surprised that football is really where he's shining right now.
Yeah, his physicality is unmatched, but Old Rochester's looking like to combat it, his skill.
A nice run there for Jack LeConte as he flips over the bench for Old Rochester, but he's all right. That'll be another Bulldog first down. Somerset Berkley searching for answers on the defensive end as Old Rochester has ripped off 10-yard run after 10-yard run after 10-yard run, Carter.
Consistency is key. If you keep ripping off those 10-yard runs, that's how you're going to win the game.
I'm not sure how much we've talked about it thus far, but it has been 7 years since Somerset Berkley has defeated Old Rochester. And tonight, a very close matchup that could go either way. Pitch handoff left side. That's Cameron Pepin. Pepin takes 2 tacklers with him down inside the 40-yard line of the Raiders.
Pitch goes to number 3.
Great run there by Pepin, and the Raiders really got to watch out because this could be a huge touchdown drive for the Old Rochester Bulldogs.
Lead tackler on the play was number 14.
Everybody getting involved right now. We've seen Roy get touches on this drive. LeConte get touches on this drive.
13 yards,
And, of course, the most recent runner in profit, and also Pepin. So it's really just been a team effort thus far by the Bulldogs. Another run here for LeConte to the outside. LeConte inside the 25 will go out of bounds after getting another Old Rochester first down.
I like Somerset Berkley. Old Rochester has a lot of dynamic running backs who can really stretch the field.
These running backs will continue to pose a threat to the Raiders defense, which last week in a lot of moments, Carter, came up big against New Bedford Vogue to help them grab that home dub.
Yeah, I mean, clutch defensive plays is what's going to win you games, and if they do it here, they can come out with a win here as well.
I can talk about any of them, but I most likely remember the forced fumble that caused the turnover on downs late in the fourth quarter. Still on the move is Gavin Martin after shaking multiple tackles. A flag flies in, and he has the first down for now, depending on what the flag is. Looks like an illegal block in the back
Flag is against Old Rochester.
on Old Rochester. So that'll push back the Bulldog offense that has been really rolling on this drive, Carter. Maybe this could be a bit of a boost of momentum for the Raider defense.
Especially the quarterback, Martin. They're using him a lot with his legs, and they're probably going to use him with his arm eventually, but Somerset Berkley has to find a way to stop this offense.
1st and 15 coming up for the Bulldogs. Ball spotted at the 28-yard line of Somerset Berkley. And we have a timeout called on the field.
We have a timeout called on the field by Somerset Berkley.
Raiders will use their first timeout of the half. Stops the clock with 2 minutes, 39 seconds to go in the first quarter. So, Carter, we hyped up this game in pregame, talking about how it could be a potential SCC championship game, and it really has not disappointed thus far.
No, and both teams really want it, and it really shows on the field because both teams are battling like it's a war out there.
It really does become a war at times. Well, I always talk about it, especially when it comes to the big boys on the O&D line. They're really in the trenches, but tonight it really could apply to anyone when we talk about being in the trenches. The physicality between these two rivals, Carter, goes deeper than just what's going on the field right now.
I mean, yeah, and let's see on this drive what Old Rochester can do. Let's see if they can get a touchdown or Somerset gets a big stop and gets the momentum back in their favor.
8-yard line.
Back out of the timeout. 1st and 15. From the 28. I formation look for Gavin Martin. Multiple running backs behind him and one receiver left. Snap to Martin and the handoff up the middle. St. Germain towards the right side will most likely
Martin on the keeper.
Have the first down. And it was actually Martin. He fooled me even up here on that one. I thought he gave it to St. Germain. St. Germain sold it like he did too, but nonetheless it looks like Martin will be close, if not past, the first down marker. Based on the spot here, it wasn't as close as I first assumed, at least for now. Now it's looking like it's a bit closer. Looking like about a second down and
goes to about the 13-yard line.
One.
Second down and 1.
Directly under center, Gavin Martin once more. Looking to lead the Bulldogs to another touchdown. Martin, the pitch late to the left side, breaking one tackle and getting inside the 5 is LeConte.
Pitch goes to number 9, Jack LeConte.
The consistency by Old Rochester is really incredible. These 5 to 10-yard runs are really making the Somerset Berkley defense on edge.
By Brenda McDonald and Finn Crook.
McDonald and Crook combined for the tackle there to keep LeConte out of the end zone for now. But now a 1st and goal coming up for the visiting Bulldogs, with a chance to take their first lead of the ball game. Martin takes the snap, handoff up the middle. St. Germain, touchdown! Old Rochester.
Old Rochester, number 2, Devin St. Germain, 5-yard touchdown.
St. Germain, Carter, almost went in untouched there. Old Rochester really had the defensive line and linebackers for Somerset Berkley perplexed on that one.
Yeah, I mean, this gritty run game by Old Rochester is really working, but let's see what Coach Freitas can do to combat this offense.
Another extra point try on the way from Nolan Blanchett. Kick is up, and it is good.
Extra point attempt from Blanchett.
14-7 in favor of the Bulldogs.
2 minutes and 6 seconds to go in the first quarter is Old Rochester 14 and Somerset Berkley 7.
So Carter, after that fast start by Brendan McDonald, it's really been tough for the Raiders offense to establish any rhythm since, whether it's penalties or just tough drives altogether, even one ending in a turnover on downs. It really seems that Nick Freitas needs to find a new solution for this offense, and I don't think he has time to wait until the half.
I think his solution is he's got to tell his team it's a long game. There's a lot of plays left, and I think they can come back in this game. This game is definitely not over.
Bourne has just taken the lead over Case 8-7 at the end of the first quarter.
More score updates coming from my buddy Keegan Hamlet. Case and Bourne doing battle right now. An 8-7 Bourne lead at the end of the first. We're still in the first quarter here at Hanson Memorial Stadium. 2:06 left on the clock. Blanchett about to kick it away for the Bulldogs, and that's another good kick, bouncing between Crook and McDonald all the way back into the end zone for a touchback.
Into the end zone for a touchback. 1st and 10 for Somerset Berkley at the 20-yard line.
Carter, we spend a lot of time talking about Brendan McDonald, but on this drive, I'm assuming that Nick Freitas is going to have to look elsewhere for some big plays, with Old Rochester clearly seeing McDonald as the number 1 option.
Yeah, the Old Rochester defense is definitely going to be eyeing on Brendan McDonald, but Somerset Berkley has a lot of playmakers, and I think they'll prevail on this drive.
McDonald back into the huddle with his squad. All of them dripped out in pink to go underneath the blue tonight. Back to the wing tee for the Raiders. A lot of shotgun looks on the last drive, this time going back to what we're more used to seeing from this Nick Freitas offense. Snap to McDonald. He'll take it himself up the middle. McDonald bounces off one tackle, gets about 4 yards.
Quarterback keeper. Number 55.
Great, decent run there by Brendan McDonald, but they're going to need to have bigger runs here in order to get back in this game.
The chunk plays are really what's going to be important as we inch toward halftime, and even still inching towards the end of the first quarter. The Raiders need to find a way to resemble the pace of this Old Rochester offense. Even if you're not getting the 10-yard gains every time, you still need to be able to get these 4, 5, 6-yard gains on 1st and 2nd down. That sets your offense up to have a much easier time converting into new firsts.
Yeah, and when you can run like that, it opens up your playbook to explore other options, other plays, and other things to do on the offense.
Shotgun look here with a long stretch of offensive linemen and extra blockers. McDonald up the middle. Easy 1st down and more.
Number 14.
About a 12-yard run there for Brendan McDonald. We were talking about maybe looking for other options. Maybe we just stick with what works.
Great run there by Brendan McDonald, but great blocking up front by Somerset Berkley.
We pretty much had about 8 or 9 blockers on the line right there for that play. Maybe that's going to be the way to combat the size and strength of this Old Rochester defensive line.
I mean, you got to figure out something. The size is just, it's a lot to handle, but Somerset looks like they're figuring out a way to handle it.
1st down and 10 for the Raiders. Snap to McDonald and the handoff right. Meehan bounces off one tackle, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he'll even gain a yard out of it to bring up a 2nd and 9.
Great tackle there by the Old Rochester defense, but honestly a great play by Liam Meehan just to get back to the line of scrimmage there, breaking 2 tackles.
We talked about Meehan last week. He was able, I believe you said, to bench 270 pounds as a sophomore. Is that what it was?
Correct.
270 pounds as a sophomore. That really goes to show why he's able to break some of those tackles. I'm sure at least one of the guys that tried to wrap around him was bigger than he was, and he was still able to use his strength. But nonetheless, we come to the end of quarter number 1. Carter and I will take a short break after we talk a little bit for a moment as we look towards the second quarter. Carter, a 14-7 lead for the old Rochester Bulldogs. If you're the head coach for the Bulldogs and Bryce Gilbo, what are you saying to your team right now as they seem to have a lot of things figured out against the Raiders thus far?
I would say we got to continue what we're doing. We can't let up because this Somerset offense can come back in a flash.
It really can. Brendan McDonald, Finn Bjork, many others can make plays at any moment on both sides of the ball. We'll see what the Raiders are able to do against these Bulldogs in quarter number 2. Back in a flash on Somerset Access TV.
Fans, how about a round of applause for our local and student photographers helping out with taking pictures of tonight's game.
Second quarter here at Hanson Memorial Stadium. After the 1-yard gain by the Raiders on first down, we flip to the other side of the field. 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Somerset Berkley offense. Brendan McDonald waits on the snap. And he takes it. McDonald looking to run himself, going right side. Headed for the sideline is Brendan McDonald. Pushed out of bounds. And hard at that after a gain of about 6 or 7.
By number 5, Jake
Great run there by Brendan McDonald, but a big hit by the old Rochester defense. And that could rock Brendan McDonald's mind going in the rest of the game.
For sure. Sometimes the physicality can be part of mind games that you play against the other squad. You and I both play ice hockey, so we understand that all too well. There's a lot of parallels in terms of how physicality impacts the game between hockey and football.
Yeah, getting hit hard or just losing your balance on the ice or on the field can really knock you off your game.
We'll see if Brendan McDonald can respond in a positive way here to that bone-crushing hit. Back to the wing tee for the Raiders. 3rd down and about 4. Snap to McDonald. Running left this time, back up the middle. McDonald stiff-arming 2 defenders as he crosses the 50-yard line.
Great run there by Brendan McDonald, and I think Old Rochester's getting a penalty here. Once again, these penalties are going to cost you.
Let's see what the call comes in as here. At first glance, it looked like it was against the defense. Personal foul against the defense. Let's see how many yards that gains for the Raiders. Sometimes these personal fouls can give you 10, 15.
I mean, coaches always preach discipline, and that was just a very undisciplined play.
Ball getting moved up quite a bit here. Spotted at the 32-yard line of the Bulldogs.
32-yard line, 1st and 10.
Raiders get a bit of a gift here, Carter. Let's see if they can take advantage of it. Pistol look here for McDonald. Me in behind him. McDonald going right up the middle, trying to get some extra yardage here. And he is able to get about 4 out of it. An interesting play call there, Carter. It looked similar to that big gain Somerset had earlier in the drive, but this time a split right up the middle by McDonald.
Almost looked like what the Eagles did last year with Jason Kelsey at center in the tush push.
Gotta love a good NFL reference, even if we are calling high school football.
2nd down and 7.
2nd down and 7 coming up for the Raider offense. Benefiting from some penalties, but also starting to look a bit more fluid in the way they are running. Wing tee again. Brendan McDonald waits on the snap and takes it. Back to throw is McDonald. Pass protection was solid. Throws upfield. It's caught. Finn Crook. Touchdown. Somerset Berkley. And the passing game finally makes an appearance in this one.
As I said before, those gritty runs can open up the playbook, and that was a great pass and great pitch and catch by Brendan McDonald and Finn Crook.
McDonald bought himself some extra time by scrambling, and Finn Crook found the opening in the seam and made himself available. An unbelievable play between two players who have seen the field quite a bit in their high school careers. Experience shows right there.
Just like in hockey, you got to find the open space. Finn Crook found the open space there, and he had a wide open touchdown.
Extra point attempt by Dos Santos is blocked.
Santos is blocked and no good.
Carter, we saw a missed field goal last game, too. Let's hope this doesn't prove to be too costly for the Raiders.
I don't think it will, but at the end of the game, you never know. That 1 point can mean a lot of difference.
14-13 in favor of the Bulldogs. 10:31 still to go in this first half.
Hey, make sure you tell them it's live after 10.
Nonetheless, Carter, a strong performance thus far by the Raiders. They've seen some contests against Old Rochester in the past few years that have been very lopsided, but tonight it seems neck and neck between these two SEC foes.
I think every year Somerset Berkley puts this game on their calendar and says it's a must-win, and this year I think they're ready to take the win.
We talked about it last game, the Raiders shaping up with the talent and raw athleticism they have to be in competition with the best of the best in the state of Massachusetts. And if you want to play the best of the best in the state, you got to start by beating the best of the best in your conference.
Yeah, and I mean, it also comes down to the grit of the team. The team needs to be strong, healthy, and also smart on the field.
Dos Santos. Kickoff to the left side here. That one bobbled and out of bounds. They'll spot it out at about the 19-ish yard line. And that is where the next Old Rochester Regional Drive will start.
Those poach kicks by Kevin Dos Santos may be something that Coach Freitas can exploit on special teams.
Dos Santos definitely has shown an ability to be a strong place kicker.
19-yard line, 1st and 10 for Old Rochester.
19-yard line is where we will start out. Back under center is Gavin Martin, who has had a fabulous start to this game on the ground. Let's see if maybe he can introduce himself in the air. Martin going to the ground again, running left. Juke move, heading for the sideline, still on his feet before Bjork slams him down.
Great tackle there by Finn Bjork, because once again, if he doesn't tackle him there, there was a lot of room on the outside for Martin to go.
And with Martin's speed, he could probably be a running back on this team, too, if it weren't for the fact that he has probably one of the more accurate arms in the South Coast.
Gain of 2 on the play, 2nd down and 8.
2nd down and 8 coming up. Gavin Martin scans the defense. Heads under center, takes the snap. Martin, the handoff once again. It's LeConte, and he is dropped quickly. Maybe got a yard out of that one. Carter, it looks like the Raiders' defense is starting to really pay attention to how these run plays are developing and being sure to get in front of it.
Yeah, great tackle there by number 8, Kevin Dos Santos, and Coach Freitas, I think, is coming up with defensive plays to stop this old Bulldog offense.
For the first time, it seems, all game, the Bulldog offense is in search of answers. A 3rd down and 6 coming up. And now the Somerset Berkley faithful getting loud. You can feel the vibrations underneath our feet. Martin takes the snap, back to throw, looking to the right. It's caught. Tackle quickly made by Finn Crook. Do the Bulldogs have enough for the first? It looks like they do. Ball came out as well, but it was after the whistle, so it looks like the passing game finally being introduced in terms of Gavin Martin right there, and Martin made an excellent throw to grab another Bulldog first.
Yeah, great throw there by Gavin Martin. He reminds me a lot of a Jaden Daniels. Tall, slim, good arm, accurate, and also a lot of speed.
Somebody was doing his homework before this game. Got much better references, comparisons. This is the stuff you dream of as an older cousin. I mentioned last game I watched Carter grow up. It's crazy to see just how great he is getting at this. Maybe one day you'll be better than me. I really hope you are. Another handoff up the middle. This time LeConte struggling once more. Can only really get a yard out of it. LeConte was breaking off 10, 15-yard runs earlier in the game. What do you think has changed that has slowed him down?
I think it comes up to the Somerset Berkley D-line. They're really stuffing the runs.
A lot of big boys up front on that Somerset Berkley defensive line. Dos Santos, Teasdale, Hamblett, Bjork. Dion, among others. Some big boys who can pack a powerful punch on the defensive end. 7.5 to play, first half. Another handoff and another short run stonewalled by the Somerset Berkley defense.
It looks like Old Rochester's to start open up their playbook because Somerset Berkley has their number right now.
I'm sure Bryce Gilbo has something up his sleeve here. Another third down on the way. Second third down of this drive for Old Rochester. If I was counting correctly, I think they only had 1 or 2 in the entire first quarter third downs. So already 2 early in the second quarter. Defense chants coming again from the Somerset Berkley Raider faithful. Play action fake. Martin looking to throw downfield, and it is caught. A wonderful catch right through the hands of Finn Bjork and into the hands of Hunter Horsey.
23, Hunter Horsey.
The passing game, Carter, we knew it was going to come eventually from Gavin Martin, and now it's paying big dividends for the ORR offense.
I think the goal for Old Rochester is just to exploit the weaknesses in Somerset Berkley defense, and they did that there.
A tough spot to be in if you're Finn Crook.
Yards on the catch and run. First and 10.
He had his back turned. He was trying to stay on pace with Horsey, but it was just a bit too difficult to do, and a great catch, too, by Horsey. Another handoff to LeConte, and about a 2-yard gain there for the junior.
Great tackle there by the Somerset Berkley D-line, and it looks like they're breaking off the blocks a lot faster than they were in the first quarter.
We talked about fatigue early on. Maybe that's starting to play a factor on the Old Rochester offensive line. Second down and 9 coming up.
Second down and 9 from the 38.
Old Rochester back on the Somerset Berkley side of the field with 6 minutes to go in the first half. Back under center, Gavin Martin. Martin takes the snap, looks for the pitch. He's got his man. It's Pepin. Pepin to the outside, shakes 2 tackles before he's finally dragged down at about the 23 with another Bulldog first down.
Great pitch play there by the Old Rochester Bulldogs, and Pepin's been really a standout player this game.
A lot of speed for number 3, Cameron Pepin, listed at 6 foot, 175 pounds as a junior. A lot of 6-foot guys on the squad, Carter. We were talking about it on our walk-in. Somerset Berkley has some 6-foot guys, but a lot more in the 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" range. But for this Old Rochester team, size is the name of the game.
I mean, height can win you games, and it's showing that the height is really coming the factor helping them win this game.
Martin, another QB keep, takes about half the yardage towards another first.
By number 70, Kyle Hamblett.
Kyle Hamblett on the tackle. Proud announcement moment there for PA man Keegan Hamblett, older brother, calling younger brother's tackle there.
5 yards on the play, second down and 5.
Second down and 5 with 5 minutes to play. Clock ticking and Old Rochester driving. Now inside the red zone. Martin takes the snap and hands it off once again. LeConte breaks 1 tackle, but not Mello's tackle. Nonetheless, he's inside the 5.
Great tackle there by Seth Mello. Also great run by LeConte. And if Seth Mello doesn't make that tackle, it's 6.
Old Rochester still looking for 6 here. A first down and goal at about the 4.5-yard line. Another run for LeConte. Touchdown. Old Rochester. Back and forth this first half has been, Carter.
It's been a really intriguing first half, but this second half is really where it shows how good a team is.
And Carter and I preached about it last week. Adjustments at the half. It's going to be essential for both teams because it's pretty much a dead heat right now. So I don't think anything's going to change, and we may see another drive by the Raiders before the half ends.
Absolutely, especially with the Raiders' high-powered offense. They can definitely make a drive and get a touchdown before this half ends.
So the score with 4 minutes and 31 seconds to go in the second quarter is Old Rochester 21 and Somerset Berkley 13.
Nolan Blanchett, a perfect 3 for 3 on point after attempts thus far in this one. and a 21-13 lead for the Old Rochester Bulldogs. Somerset Berkley on this drive. The philosophy has to be here from Nick Freitas, Carter. Stick with what's been working for us, and this time try and make sure we go for two to bring this game to a tie before we hit the locker rooms.
Yeah, absolutely. He was also preaching to his players that you probably need to score a touchdown on this drive. It's not the most crucial thing in the world, but a touchdown to two-point conversion before the half it would really be huge for the Somerset Berkley team.
Carter mentioned momentum earlier. A momentum shift could be on the way here. It all depends on how well this Somerset Berkley offense can function in this last 4 minutes and 31 seconds. Blanchett to kick it away for the Bulldogs. Another solid kick inside the 15-yard line. McDonald fakes the handoff and heads upfield left side. Brendan McDonald trying to stiff arm a man. He can't, but he makes it all the way up to the 30-yard line.
Great return there by Brendan McDonald. Really tough run. Two guys tackle him, and he tries to do a little stiff arm there, I see.
Clock stopped with 4:23 to go, and that will be the amount of time the Raiders have to go from the 30-yard line to the end zone. As Brendan McDonald returns into the huddle for the Raiders. Both offenses have had their struggles, but both offenses have also had their successes. The Raiders looking for some more success before we head to halftime here at Hanson Memorial Stadium. So glad you could all join us tonight here on Somerset Access TV as well as Blue Raider Studios later. Brendan McDonald making all sorts of plays, deking and juking through the entire Old Rochester secondary for another Raiders first down.
Another tough run by Brendan McDonald. It's incredible how he can take this amount of hits in the game and play the full game and not seem tired at all.
Is good for another Raiders.
It really just comes down, Carter, to raw athleticism. We say it about Finn Bjork, we say it about Brendan McDonald. Raw athleticism, especially when you're a mobile quarterback like this, can really play to your advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see what Somerset Berkley can do on this drive, because if they give up the ball here, Old Rochester can make a big drive and score a touchdown.
Anything can happen here at Hanson Memorial. Wing T again for the Raiders and Brendan McDonald. McDonald takes the snap, handoff to Meehan. Meehan shifting through the linebackers and able to get about 6 yards, maybe 5 on that one.
Sawyer Johnson with the tackle for Old Rochester.
Johnson on the tackle for the Bulldogs.
Second down and 5.
Second down and 5 coming up after the 5-yard gain.
If you're going to be a part of our senior ceremonies, please start making your way and lining up.
Just want to make sure I talk about this a little bit too. Keegan Hamlet was just discussing it. The senior festivities coming up at halftime. Be sure to stick around and watch those as we honor 33 seniors between the football program, the cheer program, and the band. McDonald running left with room this time. McDonald shifts back across the 50. Brendan McDonald to about the 40, and a flag goes flying as well. Not sure this time. I didn't really see too much. It looks like an illegal block in the back as the refs are discussing it. Might even be on the Raiders. Looks like Dos Santos will be called for it.
Great run there by Brendan McDonald.
The flag was
and
against
I hope
Somerset Berkley.
It's sad that it comes back, but you can look at it as a positive. It's a great run.
So the Raiders, who looked like they were about to be back in Bulldog territory, pushed into their territory once more. Ball will be spotted at the 41-yard line of Somerset Berkley, and they will look to figure out how to overcome this second down and 11. Carter, if you're the head coach, Nick Freitas, in this situation, what's your play call?
My play call is touchdown. That's my play call.
Gotta love the expertise from Mr. Katea. Snap to Brendan McDonald, and the reverse handoff pitch back to McDonald by Meehan. McDonald, a spin move, still on his feet. Able to get back to where the Raiders were on the play before, so some progress made at least there, Carter.
Little triple option pitch play. That was very cool to watch.
Don't see too many of those, but as I said, Nick Freitas has been at the helm of this program for as long as I can remember, and I'm sure he's got all sorts of tricks in his bag. Under 2 minutes to play, 1:50 exactly and counting. Raiders facing a 3rd down and 5.
3rd down.
Clock still running as McDonald waits on the snap. Now 1.5 to go. Snap to McDonald. Fakes the handoff, rolling left. Brendan McDonald running out of room, able to evade one tackler. He throws it out of bounds just before he stepped out of bounds. Crisis averted there by McDonald, Carter, but now a big 4th down coming up that could really boost the momentum for the Raiders if they can get it.
If I was Coach Freitas, I would punt, and it looks like they are, because you don't want to, if you don't want to go for it and not get it, and then the Old Rochester offense has a short field.
A very valid point to be made. At first glance, it does look like the Raiders will punt it away with 1:21 left in half number 1. But as we saw last game with the Somerset Berkley special teams, anything can happen. Finn Bjork back as the punter. He's got a good boot. Let's see what he does here. Bjork, a beautiful boot, end over end. Bouncing inside the 20-yard line and going backwards all the way out to about the 31-32.
To about the Bulldogs.
And that is where the Bulldogs will start with 1:10 left. Carter, only 1:10 left in the half. The Bulldogs have been mostly run in this game, but with this short of time left, looking for that extra score to give yourself a cushion, maybe pass is the go in this situation.
I mean, yeah, as I said, if Somerset Berkley gives the ball back to Old Rochester, and we just saw what happened, and let's see if they can maybe pass the ball downfield or break off a big run to get a touchdown before the half.
Gavin Martin under center once more, takes the snap and hands it off to LeConte. LeConte still on his feet, evades one tackle. Dos Santos and Hamlin in there trying to punch the ball out. It will not work as LeConte finally steps out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. It looks like he got about 7 on that one, Carter.
Great tough run by LeConte there. Almost 4 Somerset Berkley defenders on him, and he broke the tackle and pretty much got out of bounds.
Clock ticking under a minute to go, about 40 seconds. Another LeConte run stiffed up by the Somerset Berkley defense.
Looks like no gain on the play.
No gain on the play and a timeout now for Old Rochester. Carter, 36 seconds left. If you're head coach Bryce Gilboa, do you look to be aggressive here, or do you maybe play it safe and head to the half with everything still intact the way it is?
Based off how the Somerset Berkley defense is doing on this drive, if I was Coach Gilboa, I would play it safe and go to the half with the lead.
Only time will tell here. A lot of decisions to be made in these last 36 seconds as the fans start to head over to the snack bar, grab some concessions. I remember when I was in high school here, the popcorn was always good here, Carter. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really had the popcorn, but I heard it's good.
Can never go wrong with some good popcorn at a sporting event. That's always been my mantra. That and a hot dog, especially if it's a baseball game. With football, I'd probably say maybe, I don't know, maybe still a hot dog or maybe an Italian sausage. But I'll tell you what, any sort of concession food like that is a great combo for a game like this.
For me, my combo is a pizza and Skittles.
A pizza and Skittles. The 16, 17-year-old diet. You love to see it. 36 seconds left. Martin on the keep. Still on his feet. How did he do that? Gavin Martin is gone. Touchdown. Old Rochester.
Rochester, number 1, Gavin Martin. 62-yard touchdown.
Carter, as a broadcaster, I'm flabbergasted. What did you see there?
I saw just a weird play. I mean, I thought he was going to get stuffed at the line. He broke a couple tackles and just used his incredible speed to get the touchdown.
A monumental play there by Gavin Martin that could put Old Rochester in the most favorable position possible heading in to the half. Extra point is up and good.
Point attempt is good.
A 15-point lead for the Old Rochester Bulldogs in a game that started out dead even. The Old Rochester offense has come to life in full force, and all of a sudden, Somerset Berkley has dug themselves a hole.
If I was Coach Freitas at the halftime, I would encourage his team, not bring his team down. Don't make them feel bad about how they're playing. Encourage them to play better.
24 seconds left on the clock. Old Rochester will kick off shortly back to the Raiders. We see a lot of the fake handoff plays, Carter, when it comes to the kickoff setup for this Raiders special teams, but maybe here instead of a fake, we try to actually do one to catch this Old Rochester special teams off guard.
Yeah, to get a touchdown on this kick return, you're going to need a lot of good blocking, especially from players like number 11, Jason Poinzat, and number 22, Finn Bjork.
Let's see what Nick Freitas has planned here. Blanchett, another solid kick, a bit shorter than his last few, right into the hands of McDonald. McDonald gets a couple blocks, trying to find the sideline. A flag goes flying with McDonald finally being taken down at the 35.
We do have a flag on the play.
And it is a holding call on the receiving team. That caused that flag. So, 15 seconds left. And Somerset Berkley, with this short of time left, probably a knee and head to the locker room type situation, Carter. Or is it?
But for Coach Freitas, you never know. He could try and pull out a play out of the playbook that Old Rochester defense has not seen all game.
It is sometimes a game of chess on the football field. You really have to be so strategic and sometimes try and do things you wouldn't normally do, especially in a rivalry game like this, to get yourselves ahead. You really have to do anything you can. First and 10 from the 18-yard line for Somerset Berkley. Let's see if my assumption or Carter's assumption is the one that reigns true. Wing T formation, Brendan McDonald waiting on the snap. Snap to McDonald. Handoff left side, Finn Crook. Crook swamped by about 3 Bulldogs. And the clock will run out under 5 seconds now, and we head into halftime with one of the worst case scenarios presenting itself for the Somerset Berkley Raiders, Carter.
Yeah, not a great end to the half of the Somerset Berkley Raiders, but I don't think Coach Freitas is phased. I think he believes his team can come back and win this game.
And Carter, we haven't really seen much of Finn Bjork in that first half offensively, more so on the defensive end. If you're Coach Nick Freitas and you're talking to Bjork in the locker room during halftime here, how do you motivate him to up his game on the offensive end in half two?
Maybe use him more on the field, put him at running back. He's a strong kid. He can really do a lot on the field. He's agility, speed, strength. Maybe you put him at running back, get him some carries.
And Carter, let's put ourselves in Bryce Gilboa's shoes one more time. You're heading into the locker room up by 15. What are you saying to your squad?
Don't let them back in this game, because he'll say Somerset Berkley is one of the top teams in the area, and if you let them back in the game, they'll hurt you.
We'll see what happens over the next 2 quarters, but for now, we take a short halftime break. Carter and I will be back with you in the second half on Somerset Access TV.
Our first senior member is number 3, Zachary King. Zach is being escorted out by his parents, Nick and Laura. And also joining the King family for the senior ceremonies, number 36, Jackie Wang. Our next senior member is number 4, Seth Mello. Seth is being escorted out by parents Patricia and Oliver. Our next senior member is number 8, Caven DeSantos. Caven is being escorted out by parents Shauna and Wilton. Our next senior member is number 9, Bradley Mello. Bradley is being escorted out by parents Shanda and Bob. next senior member is number 15, Ramon Pavo. Ramon is joined by parents Natalie and Tony. Our next senior member is number 21, Aiden Sood. Aiden is being joined by Nadia and Michael Shardy. Next up is number 25, Brady Mello. Brady is being led out by parents Samantha and Ed. Our next senior member is number 32, Shane Delaney. Shane is joined tonight by his mom, Stephanie. Next up is number 33, Braden Green. Braden is joined tonight by parents Lee and Scott. Next senior up, number 36, Jackie Wang. Jackie is being escorted out by head coach Nick Freitas. Our next senior member is number 75, Paul Castonguay. Paul is being joined by parents Andrea and Gil. Next up is number 79, Ethan Samoas. Ethan is being joined by his mom Diane and stepdad Nuno. And now for our football captains. First captain up is number 1, wearing number 22 tonight, Finn Bjork. Finn is being escorted by parents Jerusha and Kevin. Also sister Emily. Next captain up is number 14, Brendan McDonald. Brendan is on the field with parents Lisa and Ray. And our final football senior member is captain number 71, Hayden Teasdale. Hayden is being led by his mom Bethany and brother Owen. Let's give one more round of applause for our football senior members. Next up for our senior members, we're going to have our cheer team. First cheerleader up is Leania Balzort. Leania is being joined by her mom, Alicia Thompson. Our next cheer member is Samantha Belanger. Samantha is being joined by parents Allison and Bob. Our next cheer senior is Savannah Blazer. Savannah is being joined by parents Heather and Kevin. Next up for our seniors is Sarah Botello. Sarah is being joined by parents Wendy and Carlos. Next up, we have Zoe Cardoza. Zoe is being escorted out by parents Brian and Sue. Our next senior cheer member is Aaliyah Morse. Aaliyah is being joined by parents Catherine and Jake. Next up is cheer captain Ava DePola. Ava is being joined by parents Stephen and Jillian. And our final cheer member is Captain Hallie Lee. Out there escorting her out are parents Justin and Denise. Fans, how about one more round of applause for our senior cheerleaders? And for our final group of seniors, we're going to have our band members. First band member up is Aiden Terry. Aiden is being joined by Mom Larabeth. Our next senior member is B. Wright. B is being joined by Susan and Chris Wright. Next up is Nick Andrade. Nick is being joined by his mom, Jennifer.
Oh, you're good. I love them. They're my soft spot. Yeah. Oh, no, you can have it, though, if you're reckless. Wow, this kid.
Our next band senior is Katrina Phillips. Katrina is being joined by her mom, stepdad, and brother.
Hey, do you want the rest?
I appreciate that. That's very kind.
Our next band senior is Madison Goslin. Madison is being joined by her mom, Nellie. Our next senior member is Isaac Silva. Isaac is being joined by parents Monica and Manny. Our next senior member is Aiden Cronin. Aiden is being led out by band director Mrs. Roush. And we did have another band member, Kaylee Cabral. She unfortunately is not at today's game, but give her a round of applause. Our next senior member is Jonathan John Marie. And our final band senior is Jameson O'Brien. Jameson is being joined by Cheryl and Jeff O'Brien. Fans, let's hear it one more time for our senior band members. And how about another hand for all of the class of 2025 senior members? We wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors, and while you'll be moving on from us, you will forever be a part of our Raider family. Thank you.
Morgan gets it. Morgan gets it. I wish I could get Morgan that.
Welcome back in, everyone, to Somerset Access TV and eventually Blue Raider Studios. JJ Sylvia along with Carter Sylvia as we get set to start the second half here at Hanson Memorial Stadium. A 28-13, 15-point lead for the old Rochester Bulldogs. And Carter, Somerset Berkley has a big uphill climb coming for them in half number 2.
Yeah, they got a lot to do in this half in order to come back.
We'll head out to the field as we get set for the opening kickoff of this second half. Kevin Dos Santos once again will do the kickoff duties for the Raiders.
Number 8, Kevin Dos Santos. Let's hear it one more time, fans. Second half action. Let's go.
Once again, shout out Keegan Hamlet. Gotta love his energy on PA. Dos Santos making sure the Raiders are lined up, and we are underway here in half number 2. Once again, Dos Santos going to the left with the kickoff. It bounces inside the 20, fielded by Gavin Martin, and he'll step out of bounds just across the 20-yard line to about the 23.
Decent little return there by Gavin Martin, and honestly, good coverage on the special teams by Somerset Berkley.
So the first drive of the second half for the Bulldogs will start inside their own 30-yard line.
Bulldog 23-yard line, 1st and 10 for Old Rochester.
Carter, in that first half, when it was coming to an end, a huge run by Gavin Martin where we thought he was tackled, maybe even in the backfield, but somehow able to reach the end zone after that.
Yeah, it was a great run by Gavin Martin, but Coach Freitas was really not happy with his defense after that play.
And for good reason. A defense that has gone toe-to-toe with some of the best offenses in the South Coast Conference and in other conferences in Massachusetts thus far this year, has had a hard time finding an answer for this Old Rochester offense. Another running play for Jack LeConte. Looks like he got about 5 yards on that one. Brings up a 2nd down and 5.
Gain of 5 yards on the play, 2nd down and 5.
11 minutes, 30 seconds and counting to go in this third quarter. We're just underway in the second half between the Old Rochester Bulldogs and the Somerset Berkley Raiders. Another handoff to LeConte. He is stonewalled by the Raider defense. It's a combination of Teasdale and Bjork to make that tackle, Carter.
Great tackle there by Teasdale and Bjork, but I think Coach Freya's fired up his defense to play a lot better in the second half.
Whatever conversation was had between Freitas and his squad in that locker room at halftime has paid some dividends early on. Let's see if it persists as the half continues. A 1-yard gain brings up 3rd down and 4. Big chance for the Somerset Berkley defense to make a stand and a statement early in the second half. Martin under center awaiting the snap. Back to throw is Martin. 2-step drop, rolling left. He throws downfield, incomplete. Great coverage on that one, Carter, by Finn Crook.
Great redemption play by Finn Crook after getting burned in the first half for a big gain.
Pass was intended for number 5, Jake Profit.
Brendan McDonald right now limping over to the sideline. Definitely not what you want to see if you're Nick Freitas right now.
No, he's been probably the best player for them today, and they need him all over the field. Defense, offense, special teams. It's a big loss if he can't play the rest of the game.
McDonald will get checked on by the trainers. He's heading into the makeshift tent that they have made out of one of the golf carts. We'll see if it's serious or not. Looks like it might just be a cramp. Right now they're working on stretching out the ankle. Punt coming for Old Rochester after a good stand by the Somerset Berkley defense. Crook will let that one bounce. He won't even go near it. And it'll be fielded at about the 36-yard line of the Raiders. That's where their next offensive drive will start, their first of the second half, Carter.
Yeah, they're going to need to have a big drive here to get the momentum back in their favor. If they don't score a touchdown and go 3 and out or give up the ball, Old Rochester can come down and nearly close this game.
A big opportunity here for the Raiders to try and shift the momentum back into their favor early in this third quarter. Down by 15 right now as a result of the missed field goal in half one as an extra point. And right now, doesn't seem like it would matter too much, that 1 point. But as Carter mentioned, as we head down the stretch towards the end of this one, it could really, really matter depending on how these next 2 quarters unfold. Snap to McDonald, handoff up the middle, bouncing off a few tackles and gaining about 4 yards on that one. A.J. Griffin.
Carried by number 10, Aiden Griffin.
Griffin hasn't seen too many touches thus far this season, but made the most of his opportunity there, Carter.
I mean, he's shown how good he is on the JV field, and the reason Coach Fraser is giving him reps on varsity is because he's a good impact player.
Impact players are what Nick Freitas loves more than anything else. Players that can really stand out in big moments and make the big plays that are required to win these types of rivalry games. A 2nd down and 7 coming up for the Raiders. Shotgun look here for McDonald. One running back to his left. McDonald will take it himself up the middle, bouncing off a few tackles. He nearly has the first down. It's going to be a close call to see if he has it or not. Looks like he's about a half-yard short, at least at first glance.
Great run there by the running back, and Somerset really needs to get more chunk plays. The chunk plays is how you're going to get a touchdown on this drive.
9 minutes and counting remaining in this third quarter. In a game that has moved by pretty quickly because of the paces of these 2 offenses. McDonald back in the wing tee. It's a handoff to Finn Crook. Crook breaks 1 tackle and he's loose down the sideline, pushed out of bounds at the last moment by Henry Berry. But a big run there for Finn Crook, Carter. That might be just the play the Raiders offense needs.
Yeah, they really need that play, and Finn Crook is really fast, and he really showed it on that play.
Finn Crook, a big 20-plus yard run there. and it brings the Raiders
First and 10
into
of the
Old
Bulldogs'
Rochester
32-yard
territory.
line.
Now at the 32-yard line of the Bulldogs with a first down play forthcoming. Back to the wing T for Somerset Berkley. We've seen a bounce back and forth between a shotgun offense, a pistol offense, and a wing T tonight. Another handoff for Crook. Flag comes flying.
That's a carry by number 13.
Looks like it might be a hold on the offense here. I saw some frustration from some of the guys on that O-line for the Raiders there.
You also, not a great penalty to take, but you have to look at it as a positive. It was a great run by Finn Crook, and it was a great play design by Coach Freitas.
Positives always need to come away from those types of negative situations, and right now, this flag puts Somerset in quite a negative situation. Pushed back well far away from where they initially were to start that first down play. Now back to the 42-yard line.
First and 20.
First and 20 coming up. Back to a shotgun look for Brendan McDonald. 2 receivers left, 2 right, and 1 running back in the backfield in Liam Meehan. Snap to McDonald, back to throw. Pressure's coming. McDonald rose to his right. He's going to take it himself. Brendan McDonald evades 1 tackle, heading for the sideline. Can he make it all the way? He cannot. But he is inside the 10-yard line with a flag coming. Looks like another face mask, Carter.
Really great play by Brendan McDonald there. His escapability is incredible to watch.
The escapability really has been on display for Brendan McDonald in this one. I've counted at least 4 plays in this one where it could have very easily resulted in a sack or at least a tackle for loss. But McDonald was able to buy an extra 5 or 6 seconds on these plays and sometimes even take it himself. My, oh my, is this young man sensational. Referees figuring out the flag right now. Definitely has to be a face mask, but I think what they're deliberating about is where the spot's going to be, if anything.
We have multiple unsportsmanlike conduct flags against Old Rochester.
So, scratch that. It wasn't actually a face mask, but instead unsportsmanlike conduct. 2 penalties at once for Old Rochester. This could be very costly for the defense, especially on this drive, Carter.
I mean, yeah, you could give up the momentum here, especially if Somerset Berkley gets a touchdown, and I think Coach Biblo is going to say, we can't be taking those penalties because that's how you're going to allow the other team to get back in the game.
Right now, the Raiders trying to get back in this game, down by 15, perhaps a touchdown and 2-point conversion try forthcoming. But right now, all we can do is rely on the steady hand of Brendan McDonald. Now inside the 10-yard line, a 1st and 10 forthcoming for the Somerset Berkley Raiders after all the deliberation is completed between head coach Nick Freitas and the officials. Carter, the intensity starting to pick up here in the second half. These 2 rivals now starting to look like rivals just a bit more.
Yeah, you have to have intensity to win games, and Somerset Berkley coming out in the second half with intensity, and it's showing.
The intensity has been revved up here at Hanson Memorial Stadium on a cool, crisp night in Somerset, Massachusetts. Once again, so glad you can join us on Somerset Access TV and eventually Blue Raider Studios. First down and goal from the 4-yard line for the Raiders. More like the 3.5 from where the spot is. Pistol look for McDonald. He'll take it himself up the middle. It's a tush push. Can McDonald get there? Looks like he's short.
That was Brendan McDonald on the keeper.
McDonald on the keeper got down to about the half-yard line. So right now, it's go time for the Raiders offense. 1 yard away.
Second and goal from inside the 1-yard line.
Second and goal. Pistol look for McDonald again. He'll take it himself again up the middle. Touchdown! Somerset Berkley.
Number 14, Brendan McDonald.
And now Carter, we have to be looking for that 2-point conversion here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you want to make this a one-score game, and great just play design by Coach Freitas. Just a little tush push to get in the end zone.
Kevin Dos Santos would be the one kicking the extra point, but it looks like Nick Freitas is keeping his offense on the field. So a 2-point conversion is on the way.
The Raiders will go for 2 to make it a 7-point game.
Let's see if this conversion rings true or if it just ends up being an attempt that failed. Freitas making some last-second adjustments. Seven minutes, 10 seconds to go in quarter 3. McDonald in the wing T takes the snap. Brendan McDonald reads the defense and goes up the middle for the 2-point conversion. And it is back to a 7-point game here in Somerset.
Great QB read there by Brent McDonald, and Coach Freitas puts a lot of trust in him to do those reads on the 2-point conversions and in the regular field of play.
28-21 with plenty of football left to be played here in Somerset.
Come support our Somerset Berkley cheerleaders this Sunday at the Pink Intensity Fall Cheerleading Invitational at Durfee High School this Sunday at 11:30 a.m.
Raiders getting set to kick off to Old Rochester following that touchdown drive finished off by a Brendan McDonald 1-yard rush. And Carter, now it's back on the Somerset Berkley defense. Another big stop is crucial here.
I mean, their main focus is you have to start Gavin Martin. He's been running all over them today.
Even DeSantos to kick it off.
Gavin Martin is going to be the focus of the Raider defense the rest of the way. He has been on fire both in the passing game and in the rushing game today. Dos Santos, a low-hanging kick this time, fielded inside the 10-yard line. Running to his right is Spencer Troy. Troy able to find some extra room on the left side now, out to about the 42-ish yard line.
Kickoff return by number 20, Spencer Troy.
So this is where the second drive of half number 2 will start for the Bulldogs. And Carter, some promising field position for ORR here.
I mean, they will look to capitalize on this great field position, but the Somerset Berkley defense is looking to probably get a turnover here so they can get a quick score and get this game tied.
Under center once again, it's Gavin Martin. Takes the snap, hands it off, and it's a fake. Martin heading across the 40, trying to evade tackles. McDonald able to take him down with help from Liam Meehan, but a big chunk of yardage there, about 30 yards on that play from Gavin Martin.
Great read option by Gavin Martin, and it completely fooled the whole Raider defense.
Somerset Berkley
31 yards on.
Really in need of a stop.
From the Raider 27.
With it looking like Old Rochester's offense has come back to its first half form. Martin under center takes the snap. He's going to run right on his own. Martin is wrapped up by Mello.
That's a great way to come back for the Somerset Berkley defense after the big game by Gavin Martin.
6:10 remaining in the third quarter. Big tackle there to keep Gavin Martin from breaking off another big play.
Gain of 2 on the play, 2nd down and 8 from the 25.
Brings up a 2nd down and 8 play with the clock ticking under 6 minutes remaining in quarter 3. Fans for both sides, both Somerset Berkley and Old Rochester getting involved in this one, trying to hype up their respective squads. Martin, another handoff, and a big gain there for Jack LeConte, but not enough to get the first down. A big tackle by that Raiders secondary in order to prevent that first down.
Yeah, those crucial tackles just before the first down line can really help the momentum swing in the game, and also it can help you win the game.
Let's get on our feet, Raiders fans. We need your support.
3rd down and 3 coming up for the Raiders. Big stop is needed here. Handoff, LeConte. He breaks one tackle and he is gone. Touchdown.
Touchdown.
Old Rochester.
Number 9, Jack LeConte.
LeConte all game long, Carter. Consistency on the ground.
Yeah, he's been really good tonight, and despite the scoring that the Raider offense has been doing, the Bulldog offense and the whole team in general does not look phased. They feel like they can score on every drive.
With an extra point on the way, we could potentially see another 2-score deficit. That one is blocked. So now both squads have missed an extra point, and the score will stay where it is, 34-21 in favor of the Raiders, in favor of the Bulldogs, with the Raiders looking to get the ball back on offense and make a big push to try and get back in this one once more.
Yeah, I think they're going to use that little bit of momentum off the field extra point block and use it to get a touchdown on this drive.
5 minutes and 1 second exactly, the time on the clock. Somerset Berkley has tried their best in this one to go toe-to-toe with this high-powered Bulldog squad, but every time it seems like the Raiders are just about to swing the momentum in their favor, Old Rochester, led by head coach Bryce Gilboa, has just found a way to suppress that momentum.
Yeah, I mean, he's been really shutting down this Raider defense, and the Raider defense really needs to come up with a plan to stop this offense, because right now it's not looking too good for him.
McDonald to receive the kickoff, heading upfield. McDonald with a lot of speed, able to get out to about the 39-yard line. A decent return there from the Swiss Army knife that is Brendan McDonald.
Matthew Tobin on the tackle for the Bulldogs. Ball is marked on the Raider 39-yard line, 1st and 10.
39-yard line is where the Raiders will start yet another drive, this time with better field position. Let's see if this offense can take advantage and get this back to a 1-score contest. McDonald, the handoff left, that's Finn Crook. He's made big plays in this game, but this time there will be no big play. York may have even lost a couple yards on that one.
Number 3, Cameron Pepin.
A shocking outcome there, considering the success Crook has had on the ground over the past few drives.
I mean, they've probably been looking at him saying he's been playing very well today. We should probably shut him down.
Loss of 4 on the play.
So we've seen McDonald shine. We've seen Crook shine. Now it's time to see if Nick Freitas can get the rest of the offense involved and try to find a way to neutralize what has been a consistent, tough-nosed attack by Old Rochester. McDonald looking to throw, able to find Dos Santos. Dos Santos fighting for extra yards will get a Somerset Berkley first down.
Great play there by Kevin Dos Santos. A basketball player like Finn Bjork and Brendan McDonald, he showed his strength there.
A big chunk of yardage through the air, one of the few successful pass plays we've seen today from the Raiders, but nonetheless an important one. And they are out to the 49-yard line with a 1st down and 10 about to come. Back to the wing tee for the boys in blue. Snap to McDonald, fakes the handoff, this time to Crook. McDonald evading tacklers to gain about 4 yards on that one with a late flag coming in.
Flag on the play.
Based on how late it was, I would have to assume it's on the defense. And it's a holding on the defense.
Flag is a hold against Old Rochester.
So again, Somerset Berkley on their last drive, Carter, benefited from a penalty that gave them some extra yards. Now another chance to gain those benefits.
Yeah, an unusual call in high school football, holding on the defense. Also another flag on the defense for face mask, and that's going to get them even more yards. But what I think Somerset Berkley has to do is capitalize on this great opportunity.
So that extra face mask call, the third of the game on Old Rochester between defense and special teams.
First and 10 from the Bulldog 32.
And all of a sudden the Raiders go from on their end of the field to deep in Old Rochester territory at the 32. McDonald takes the snap and hands it off up the middle. Another big gain by the JV hero, Carter.
Man, he's showing why he can get some more touches throughout the season. He may be small, but he is strong and he can power through defenses.
Left and Hiles on the tackle.
That seems to be the meta with a lot of these Somerset running backs. May not have the size advantage in many cases, but the speed, the athleticism, the grit is always there.
Yeah, for sure, John.
25-yard line.
Second down and 3. Forthcoming for the Raiders. 3 minutes to go in quarter 3. A lot of threes in that line. McDonald takes the snap, another handoff up the middle, and the JV hero is becoming the varsity hero tonight. Another first down.
AJ Griffin's really impressing me tonight, and I think after this game, Coach Freitas is going to give him a lot more reps on the varsity.
AJ Griffin.
Results in another Raiders.
Unstoppable on the ground these last few drives. Another Raider first down. At this point, it's pretty much go for the end zone or at least that next first down close to the 1-yard line.
First and 10 from the 11-yard line.
McDonald gets his squad back in the wing T. Has Griffin to his right and Meehan to his left. Another handoff to Griffin. They stick with the hot hand. Griffin pushing forward down towards about the 6.
Griffin on the carry.
Brings up a second down and about 5 for the Raiders.
Sawyer Johnson with the tackle for Old Rochester.
Another tackle for Sawyer Johnson in this one.
Second down and 5 from the 6.
I'm sure he builds up his stat sheet quite often with tackles for this Bulldog defense. Somerset Berkley knocking on the door of making this a one-score game once more. McDonald in the wing T takes the snap. Brendan will take it himself this time, trying to juke around multiple defenders, able to get inside the 5-yard line.
On the keeper.
Looks like he's at exactly the 5, maybe a little bit inside the 5-yard line. So it brings up a third down and about 4 or 5.
10 Brody Hiles in on the stop.
Momentum shifts on the line in this situation late in quarter 3 with the fourth quarter looming around the corner. Your Blue Raiders knocking on the door for another score. McDonald takes the snap. It's a low one. He bobbled it, and Brendan will have to fall on top of it. A tough way for that play to go, Carter. And now you're facing a fourth down with the same distance after that third down play.
Yeah, but I would keep my confidence here as Brendan McDonald. You're one of the top players in the league. You should feel confident you're going to get a touchdown on this drive.
Fourth down on the way for Somerset Berkley. They need to get to the 1.5 to get the first down, but in this situation, I'm sure Nick Freitas is thinking end zone.
Fourth down and 4.
Back to the wing T. Now Crook to McDonald's left and Meehan to his right. McDonald hard snap count, and he got the Bulldogs to jump.
On the play.
Carter, we talked about the discipline of Brendan McDonald earlier because of his experience at the high school level. Right there, the discipline proved to be lapsing on the Old Rochester end.
Yeah, very smart cadence there by Brendan McDonald, and it really fooled the Old Rochester defense, and they cost themselves yards.
Let's see where the officials will spot this one after the play. It is an offsides call on the defense. We'll wait on the officials to get everything set up here before we continue play.
Flag of encroachment stands. It's half the distance to the goal. As the clock ran out, we're going to have one untimed play to end the third quarter.
With the clock running out, one untimed play to end the third quarter. 4th down and 2. McDonald with Griffin to his left in the wing tee. He also has Meehan to his left as well, farther off. Snap to McDonald, going up the middle, fights his way across the goal line. Touchdown, Somerset Berkley. And once again, it's a one-score game, Carter.
Yeah, and it's going to be a battle for the rest of this game. Hold up them 4s. It's the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter about to come, but first, Kevin Dos Santos will look to drill through this extra point attempt. Dos Santos to kick with the left foot. Brody Phillips the hold. It's a good hold. Kick is up, and it is good.
Extra point attempt from Dos Santos is good.
34-28 as we head to the fourth quarter. Back up above the press box, J.J. Sylvia, Carter Sylvia with you. Carter, a lot of fight shown by the Raiders in that third quarter.
I mean, yeah, great fight there by the Raiders offense and defense to hold the Old Rochester offense to not many points.
Old Rochester's offense, which was firing on all cylinders in the first half, has seen some struggles here in half number 2, but they'll look to improve on that as we head to the fourth and final quarter. Let's get back to the field while Carter and I take a short break.
Number 8, Kevin Dos Santos to kick it off. Back to return the kick is number 20, Spencer Troy.
Fourth quarter about to get underway. J.J. Sylvia, Carter Sylvia back with you here on Somerset Access TV and eventually Blue Raider Studios on YouTube. And this Friday Night Lights edition here at Hanson Memorial Stadium has not let us down in the slightest. A 34-28 Old Rochester lead, but Somerset Berkley has stormed back from being down multiple scores to keeping this game within striking distance as we hit the final quarter. Kevin Dos Santos the kickoff, and we are underway in quarter 4. Bouncing inside the 15-yard line, picked up and drilled upfield, Connor Nelson. Nelson bounces off one tackle, still on his feet, able to cross the 40-yard line.
Number 36, Benjamin Baptiste, but there is a flag on the play.
A flag on the play. Carter, what are we thinking for the call here?
It's looking like a clip or a trip here from the Somerset Berkley Raiders.
Flag is a block in the back against Old Rochester.
Actually, a block in the back against Old Rochester, so a penalty on special teams hurting the Bulldogs once more. This is about the third or fourth time this has happened in the game, Carter. We talked about mistakes a lot in the first half. Yet another one right there.
Yeah, and these penalties are really hurting, especially in the last drive when all those penalties led to a Somerset Berkley touchdown. If they keep letting up these penalties, I mean, it's only a 6-point game. Somerset Berkley can come back, kick an extra point, and win this game.
Back under center is Gavin Martin. He takes the snap, and he hands it off up the middle. A big run here. Once again, it's Jack LeConte finally taken down. And let me correct myself, not LeConte this time, but Devin St. Germain.
Nice run there by St. Germain, and that's a huge blow for the Somerset Berkley defense. I mean, great play call, though, by the coach of Old Rochester, and Somerset Berkley defense really has to show up and stop them here in this fourth quarter.
44 yards on the run from St. Germain. First and 10 from the Raider 26-yard line.
First and 10 for Old Rochester, now in Somerset Berkley territory and deep in that territory to be exact. Another fake handoff and swallowed up is Gavin Martin. The Raiders were not fooled that time, Carter.
No, I mean, he's been doing the read option QB runs all day, and the Somerset Berkley Raiders really diagnosed that play.
And Shane Delaney.
Somerset Berkley's defense made a big stand on the last drive, and right now that has to be the priority for them on this drive as well. Every single yard is oh so important here in this fourth and final quarter. One receiver left,
Prior to
multiple
the snap,
running
there's a
backs in the
flag on the
backfield,
flag.
and a false start call on the
false
offense.
start
Carter,
against
once
Old
again,
Rochester.
penalties costing the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be taking penalties like that, especially when you need a scoring drive here, because if you don't score, Somerset Berkley, with the momentum they have right now on offense, can really come down and score and potentially win this game.
A second down and very long as of right now.
Yard penalty from the flag. Second down and 16 from the 32-yard line.
Second and 16 to be exact. Old Rochester searching for consistency in this second half. And their most consistent player above all, Gavin Martin under center once more. Two running backs behind him, one receiver in motion, right, one left. Play action fake, Martin looking to throw. It's a wheel route, and he is wide open for a touchdown.
Touchdown, Old Rochester, number 36, Benjamin Baptiste.
Benjamin
32-yard
Baptiste
touchdown.
beating the Raider defense on the wheel route there, Carter.
You know, that was a great play call by Coach Gilbo, and the Raiders, I don't think were expecting that pass, and the running back was just free, wide open for the touchdown.
A blow, and or supposedly even a fatal blow to this Raiders defense here. And now let's see if Old Rochester tries to add on some extra points here to cancel out that missed PAT. That's looking like it will be the case.
For a potential two-point conversion.
2-point try forthcoming for the Bulldogs. Martin under center takes the snap. He'll roll left. Martin with a lane, and he's in. Old Rochester back in the lead by 14. A big statement drive by the Bulldogs to start this fourth quarter, Carter.
Yeah, great drive by the Bulldogs, but Coach Freitas has to be worrying about how his defense is playing right now in this game, especially for the future, especially if you want to go far in the state tournament. You need your defense to step up, and the Old Rochester offense is really playing well.
Both offenses have shined in this one. Somerset Berkley's offense trying to shine once more. This game has been back and forth the entire way, but Old Rochester benefited from one of the few times Somerset Berkley's offense did not go all the way down the field in the first half, or second half for that matter. And now they've got that extra cushion, which every time the Raiders seem to deal a blow, they're able to get it right back to them. Under 10 minutes to play in this one. Old Rochester set to kick off. Nolan Blanchett set to kick it away. Back to receive the usual suspects, Crook and McDonald. A shorter kick this time. This one's going to bounce in front of friend Crook. Crook able to pick it up and move forward for about 6 or 7 yards. Raiders will start at around their 30-yard line on the offensive end.
Despite the tough way to catch that, reel in that ball, that's actually a decent 6-yard return by Finn Crook.
Return goes to the Raider 34-yard line. 1st and 10 for Somerset Berkley.
And now the Blue Raiders, down by 2 scores with less than 10 to play, are in need of big plays. And in fact, Carter, I think the clock's not really on their side in this situation, so maybe some up-tempo offense could be in order too.
Yeah, you could use some up-tempo offense, and then there's a flag on the play. Looks like delay a game on Somerset Berkley.
That does seem to be the call at first glance. Let's see what the officials have to say. It is against the offense. That'll push Somerset Berkley's starting point back. It's an illegal substitution.
Despite what penalty it is, that's a huge blow for the Somerset Berkley offense, but I think they can still come down and score here. They have to score quick in order to get the ball back because the Old Rochester offense is probably going to kill the clock.
Every moment counts in these conference rivalry games. We hyped this one up as a South Coast Conference championship game, and these two teams are making it look like they are the two best in the South Coast Conference. Fake handoff by McDonald here. Brendan McDonald spins off one tackle and is wrapped up.
Brendan McDonald on the keeper.
Nice tackle by Devin St. Germain.
Number 23, Hunter Rasay on the stop.
A.J. Griffin subbing back in with Finn Crook heading to the sideline. Brendan McDonald back into the huddle. Second down and about 13. McDonald, the handoff, it's Griffin. Griffin fighting for extra yards, gets back to the original line of scrimmage and then one more after. Up to about the 35-yard line of the Raiders.
Tucker Roy in on the tackle.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 9.
This has to be a bit. They have to pick up this 3rd down, or otherwise, I don't know if they'll have enough time to get the ball back and score 2 scores.
Time most certainly not on the Raiders' side in this situation. I'd have to expect they're going to try something with a little extra pizzazz in the next few plays. Something needs to give in this grudge match. McDonald rolling right, looking to throw. The bull rush is on its way. McDonald throws. It's caught by Bjork. Finn Bjork tackled after perhaps a 2 or 3 yard gain. And a 4th down and long coming up for the Raiders in a moment that could do them in if they're unsuccessful.
Yeah, if they don't get this 4th down conversion, I mean, it's looking just about over for the Somerset Berkley Raiders in this game.
A game that both teams have fought hard in for bragging rights and the right to say that they are the kings of the SCC. Timeout, Somerset Berkley.
By Somerset Berkley.
7 minutes, 47 seconds to go. Short break, and we're back in a flash on Somerset Access TV. Back inside Hanson Memorial Stadium. JJ Sylvia, Carter Sylvia with you here on Somerset Access TV for the final 7 minutes and 47 seconds of this contest.
Timeout, it is 4th down and 6.
4th down and 6. Coming up for Somerset Berkley. McDonald, shotgun formation. 2 receivers right and 2 left. Takes the snap. Back to throw. McDonald, bull rush, runs to his left, now back to his right. 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage. McDonald looks up the field, and it is dropped.
McDonald's pass is incomplete, but there is a flag on the play.
Despite the incomplete pass, a flag on the play. Looking like it might be on Gavin Sylvester. It was against Sylvester. Penalty is declined.
Flag is declined. It is a turnover on downs.
Turnover on downs for the Raiders. And Carter, in this situation, you got to start thinking about desperation plays on the defensive end. We got to pop that ball out if we can.
I mean, yeah, you have to throw different looks at them, because if you don't throw different looks and they know what you're going to run, I mean, they could just kill this clock and end this game.
Frustration is probably the word right now.
Old Rochester
for
takes
Somerset
over at the
Berkley.
38-yard line, 1st and 10.
Bulldogs take over at the 38 of Somerset Berkley. Prime field position to deal the dagger to the Raiders in this one. 1 receiver left for Gavin Martin. Multiple running backs in the backfield. Martin the handoff, this time to LeConte.
Jack LeConte on the carry.
LeConte got about 4 yards on that one.
Tackled by number 32, Shane Delaney.
Shane Delaney on the tackle. We've heard his name a lot tonight on the defensive end. He stepped up big in this one.
Yeah, Shane Delaney, pretty good player, but I've actually been pretty impressed. Despite the 42 points put on the board by Old Rochester, how pretty good this Somerset Berkley D-line has played.
Definitely praise to be given to the defensive line. Dealing with some very large counterparts on the other end in this one. Getting the edge is Gavin Martin. Let's see if he can beat McDonald down the sideline. He's unable to. Pushed out of bounds at about the 6 or 7 yard line of the Raiders.
By Drew Dion.
Easily enough for another Old Rochester first down. Carter, the outcome's starting to look pretty bleak for the home squad.
Yeah, I mean, that's a dagger run by Gavin Martin there, and for Somerset Berkley, you just have to look to move on from this game and realize that we need to play better.
A lot of lessons to be learned from this game, Carter. We'll talk about more of them in depth, but give me one right now that you can easily take away from this one. What's a good lesson to be learned for the Raiders from this contest?
I mean, there's a lot of things to take away, but I think it most importantly comes down to the secondary and tackling. The amount of tackles that have been broken by the Old Rochester Bulldogs is it's a lot, and I think in practice, Coach Freitas is going to emphasize tackling.
Another rushing score for Jack LeConte. And all of a sudden, this Old Rochester lead has swelled to 20 points. A real swing of emotions over the last 15, 20 minutes or so. At one point, we thought Somerset Berkley might have shifted the momentum in their favor, but Old Rochester all night long, consistent on the offensive end. Another Blanchett extra point makes it a 21-point lead, 49-28 in favor of the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I mean, for Somerset Berkley, they have to look to move on from this game, but also you can't be angry about this game. You know, you lost there. You played a tough opponent. You have to look for the future and look to play better in upcoming games.
Still 6 minutes, 38 seconds left on the clock in this one. For Somerset Berkley, I think it's just going to be about doing anything you can to showcase what you can do and to allow players to improve over the rest of this contest in order to prep yourself for upcoming games in the future.
Yeah, maybe throw in some guys who haven't got as much reps in this season and to see what they can do on the field against a high-powered team.
Old Rochester has plenty of tests, much like the Raiders, to tackle the rest of the way. But tonight was one of the tougher ones. Crook bobbled that kickoff a little bit, running right at the 20, now past the 30 to the 35, and finally dragged down.
Finn Crook.
Another solid return by Crook, who is, like I've said about a lot of other people, consistent tonight on the special teams end.
Yeah, if you look at the special teams and just the running back room for the Raiders in general, they've actually been very consistent. They've been putting up at least 5 to 6 yards per carry.
Double digits in flags thrown in this game. This time it's against Old Rochester, at least it seemed at first glance that will be the case. Somerset Berkley will get a little bit of help to start the second half. Another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Bulldogs. 6.5 still to play. That's the clock stoppage time. Somerset Berkley, after the unsportsmanlike, starting on Old Rochester's side of the field. So a glimmer of hope here if the Raiders can hurry, Carter.
Maybe start throwing stuff to the end zone that you never done. They never throw a lot of deep passes, a lot of rollout, maybe 5 to 10 yard passes. Maybe Coach Frias sums up a play that Brendan McDonald throws it to the end zone.
McDonald, a reverse handoff. It goes to Griffin. Griffin breaking 1 tackle and 2 before falling forward across the 35-yard line of Old Rochester.
Great run there by Aiden Griffin, and Coach Frias has really put a lot of trust in this game, and he has prevailed.
From the 34.
Raiders deep in Old Rochester territory now at the Bulldog 34. 6 minutes to go here at Hansen Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, just my knee. My legs are tired.
Clock ticking away as Brendan McDonald and his Raiders break the huddle. McDonald will be in the shotgun formation this time. 2 receivers right and 1 left. We'll keep an eye on Finn Bjork on the far right side here. Maybe he'll be the target. McDonald back to throw, rolling to his right. Brendan McDonald decides to take it himself. A spin move and another juke will get him some extra yards. Looks like he got to about the 28.
55, Sawyer Johnson.
Sawyer Johnson, another tackle all over the field tonight on the defensive end for Old Rochester.
2nd down and 5.
2nd and 5 coming up, 5.5 to play.
I'll go down there.
McDonald back in the shotgun formation. He has Meehan to his right, 2 receivers right, 2 left. Play action fake. McDonald bull rushed, has to get rid of it. Throws it in the direction of Liam Meehan, but no one there.
Pressure coming in from Sawyer Johnson and Cormac LeClaire.
Sawyer Johnson was the one who pressured McDonald into that throw. 3rd down and 5 coming up for the Raider offense. Still plenty of football left to be played in this one. If Somerset Berkley can get on the board, Carter, we might not be looking at such a dark outcome here in this one.
Yeah, I think Coach Freitas will preach to his team to finish strong. Don't let the scoreboard phase you, and just finish strong and finish the game strong.
49-28 in favor of the Bulldogs. McDonald throwing to his left. Crook had it for a moment, but as he was tackled by Devin St. Germain, it came out of his hands.
13 Finn Crook.
4th down coming up for the Raiders, running out of chances to get on the board with the clock dwindling down. That incomplete pass, though, does stop the clock with 5:19 to go. But once again, 49-28 in favor of the old Rochester Bulldogs.
4th down and 5. Let's hear it, Raiders fans. We need your support.
With 5 minutes, 19 seconds left, Brendan McDonald back in the shotgun formation. Empty backfield here for McDonald. Trips to the left and 2 receivers right. Snap to McDonald. Coverage collapses quickly. McDonald running up the field across the 20, inside the 15 before he's dragged out of bounds.
McDonald on the keeper.
And he goes out of bounds as well, Carter. So clock stopped again with 5:11 left. The Raiders driving once more in this one. But can it be too little too late?
Great clock management by Brendan McDonald there, but it looked like it's a little too late. But as I said before, finish strong and finish with pride. You need to have pride in these games.
Pride indeed trying to be preserved here by the Raiders. 5:11 still on the clock. McDonald shotgun formation, 2 receivers left and 2 right with Meehan in the backfield to help him. McDonald takes the snap, better coverage. This time throws to the end zone, and it is tipped and nearly intercepted. He caught it in bounds. So old Rochester will take over as it seems right now. Finn Bjork trying to argue it. Flag on the play, so we'll see if that reverses what just occurred. Waiting on the call from the officials. Pass interference against the defense is the call.
Flag was a pass interference against Old Rochester. 1st and goal from about the 7.
Gives the Raiders a 1st and goal. 5:03 to play. Brendan McDonald returns his squad into the wing T formation. Let's see if a tried and true setup benefits the Raiders here. Handoff to Griffin running left. Got a few yards before he was taken down by his number partner in Brody Hiles. Clock now running again, under 5 to play. Now Somerset Berkley needs to pick up the pace a bit, especially if they score in this situation. They need to make sure as little time bleeds off of that clock as possible, Carter.
Yeah, if the minimal chance of a comeback, I mean, if you want to do it, you have to hurry up. You have to do this quick, because otherwise it's just going to be easy for the old Rochester offense when they get the ball back just to kill the clock.
McDonald, wing T once again, takes the snap. Brendan will look to run it himself, goes behind Gavin Sylvester and is in
Touchdown,
to the end zone for a Raider touchdown.
Brendan McDonald, 5-yard touchdown.
A 5-yard touchdown run by McDonald. With the PAT, it would be back to a 2-score game, Carter. 4:16 left to play. Gotta love the effort at the end of this one by the Raiders.
Yeah, great little QB blast by Brennan McDonald there, and the effort is really showing there. As I said before, you need to play with pride, and it's what they're doing right now.
Kevin Dos Santos on for the extra point. Good hold by Phillips despite a rough snap, and it is up and good.
From Dos Santos is good. So the score with
49-35 now in favor of Old Rochester.
Rochester 49 and Somerset Berkley 35.
4 minutes, 16 seconds to go. And now the workload falls back on the defense, Carter. Another big stop is needed if there's any chance of the Raiders continuing the offense that we saw on that last drive.
Along with big stop here, but maybe I'm assuming that the Raiders are going to do an onside kick. If they get the ball back and score quick, I mean, they're right back in this game.
Really?
Perhaps an onside kick is on the way. In this type of game, you never truly know. Let's see if Nick Freitas wants to trust his defense once more, or if he tries some trickery. Kevin Dos Santos plants the ball onto the hold.
For Somerset Berkley.
Getting his Raiders lined up. Somerset Berkley taking their time on this one to make sure they get this right, whatever the play call might be. A high-scoring affair between these two SCC foes coming down to the wire. Onside kick is way wide, mismanaged by Kevin Dos Santos, and it will roll out of bounds. Not the outcome that the Raiders wanted on that onside try, Carter.
You know, onside kicks aren't the easiest thing to do in the world. If Kevin Dos Santos made a mistake, and he just has to learn from it.
A lesson to be learned indeed there for Dos Santos. Usually very consistent on kickoffs, but perhaps the focus and practice over the next few days for Dos Santos is maybe to fine-tune the onside kicks.
38-yard line. 1st and 10.
Excellent field position for Old Rochester here as they look to kill clock and send us all home tonight. Gavin Martin back under center. Let's see how Bryce Gilboa's squad handles this. Running to the outside, Cameron Pepin stays on his feet after 2 tacklers trying to bring him down. Finally, a pack of Raiders will wrestle him down after a 5-yard gain. Another stingy run by Cameron Pepin. Usually we're used to seeing him use his speed, but that time his physicality paying off.
Yeah, I think Coach Gilboa just wants his running backs to just get positive yardage. 2 3-yard gains is fine as long as that clock is running.
2nd down and 6.
And that clock is indeed running. 3 minutes, 45 seconds to go here in Somerset as the crowd for the Raiders starts to hit the exits. Somerset Berkley still in go mode. Martin fakes the handoff, and the ball comes out. Let's see if the Raiders can get it. They will.
Play is recovered by Somerset Berkley.
Fumble was recovered.
Recovery made by number 70, Kyle Hamblett.
And it was Kyle Hamblett who got it. Raiders back on offense here, Carter. 3 minutes, 25 seconds left. 2-score game. Anything can happen now.
Wow, the momentum just really swished, and I felt it in the stadium like a rumble because of that huge turnover by the old Rochester Bulldogs.
Brendan McDonald and the offense back on the field.
For Somerset Berkley at the 33-yard line.
In need of big plays. McDonald, shotgun formation. 1 receiver left and 2 right. With Meehan in the backfield to support. McDonald takes the snap, rolling right. Brennan McDonald's going to go for the run. He hurdles 1 player and comes across the 40-yard line. That'll bring up a 2nd down and short on the way for the Raiders.
Gain of 7 yards, 2nd and 3.
Somerset Berkley working against the clock that is still ticking, under 3 minutes to play. McDonald adjusting the play at the line of scrimmage in the shotgun formation. 2 receivers left and 1 right. Snap to McDonald. Good coverage this time as he rolls left. Brendan McDonald looking upfield. It's caught! And Mello has the first down into Old Rochester territory, and a late flag comes in.
Looks like an unnecessary roughness call again on the Old Rochester Bulldogs.
Let's see if Carter's assumption is correct. It is a face mask, the 4th face mask call of the game against Old Rochester.
Wow, I mean, it's incredible. I really thought it was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, but turns out it was a face mask, and that's huge for the Raiders offense.
That will give Somerset Berkley some extra yardage here, so stay with us, folks. This game may not be over just yet. Some of those Somerset Berkley fans that looked like they were heading towards the exit on the far side of the field have now stuck around. Let's see if the Raider offense can give them a show worth sticking around for. 2 minutes, 30 seconds, and ticking left in this one. McDonald takes the snap. Decent pass protection here. McDonald evades pressure. Left side taken down. A wonderful tackle there by Devin St. Germain. And McDonald may have even lost a few on that one. He did. He lost about 4.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why the clock's stopping here, but that's a great tackle by St. Germain, and he's been quietly pretty good today with his runs and tackling.
On the play, 2nd and 14.
2nd and 14 for the Raiders after one of the few times all year I've seen Brendan McDonald's evading pressure not work out for him. Under 2 minutes to play. McDonald rolling to his right, able to find Mello again. Across the 40-yard line.
To Seth Mello.
Seth Mello making big plays on the offensive end here in quarter number 4. 3rd down and 8 coming up. Somerset going to an up-tempo offense now to try and race against the clock. McDonald, shotgun, 2 right and 2 left, takes the snap and throws. It's intercepted. Flag comes in late. Let's see if that interception is negated by the flag. Right now, Brody Hiles credited with the interception. Still waiting on the official word here as of right now. Old Rochester will take over after the big interception by Brody Hiles.
Flag was a hold against Somerset Berkley. Flag is declined. Old Rochester takes over.
Holding on Somerset Berkley is declined by Old Rochester, and the Bulldogs will take over. Carter, a clutch interception by Hiles to seal it for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, great read there by Hiles, and it's actually the right read by Brendan McDonald, but it was just a great defensive play.
And now it's true clock killer mode for the Bulldogs in a game that has been back and forth all the way through. Pepin, another rush up the middle, gets at least 7 yards there. That'll probably be one of the last plays in this one, Carter. As we look ahead towards the rest of the season, even towards Thanksgiving even, Carter, is there a game that you have particularly circled that you're looking forward to as a SB student and fan?
I mean, the Thanksgiving game against Central is going to be an intriguing one, not at home in a stadium in Rhode Island.
We'll definitely look forward to that. 1:09 seconds left on the clock. And we have a stoppage allowing both teams to get a rest here in these final moments. Once again, thank you to everyone who was able to join us tonight here on Somerset Access TV and Blue Raider Studios. Not the outcome the home fans would have hoped for, but nonetheless, a great showing of the unbelievable amount of skill that both of these teams possess in terms of some of their big-name players.
Yeah, this is like the battle of the Titans in the SEC, and it showed that the Old Rochester Bulldogs were just a little bit better today.
Old Rochester back out of the huddle, out of this stoppage in play. Perhaps a couple of knees, and we will be all set, or maybe Old Rochester will try for one more first down. Martin, the handoff, right, Pepin, shifting to the left. Let's see if he has enough. He does. That is enough for a first down, at least it looks like now. Somerset Berkley calls the timeout as it looks like they were actually a yard short. So Nick Freitas hoping that his defense can make one more stop and maybe set up a desperation chance for the offense.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do whatever you can to try and get back in the game however you can. And Coach Freitas is going to try and get a huge stop on this, what is it, fourth down?
Looking like it will be a third down right now, Carter.
Yeah, I mean, on this third down, I mean, it doesn't really matter because if they're probably going to get this first down.
We will see. Only time will tell. 1 minute and 1 second left on the clock. 49-35 in favor of the Old Rochester Bulldogs.
It is third down and 1 from the 50.
Third down and 1 at exactly the 50-yard line. Martin takes the snap, goes right up the middle, and he has it.
First down,
First down, Old Rochester. Gavin Martin, who has been the star all day, Carter, might have just sealed the deal right there.
Yeah, Gavin Martin's really been a standout player today, and this is really going to help him for the rest of his season. I mean, if he keeps carrying on like this, he could be the MVP of the conference.
Perhaps one more play after this, but I think this will be good. Victory formation for the Bulldogs. Gavin Martin takes the knee. And Old Rochester continues one more year without having lost to Somerset Berkley. That tally is up to 8 years.
Tonight's game, the final score, Old Rochester 49.
Final score 49-35. The Bulldogs come in and defeat the Raiders here at Hanson Memorial Stadium. Carter, final thoughts before we head out tonight.
I think for Old Rochester it was a great performance by them, and for Somerset Berkley, I mean, you scored 35 points. You can't complain. You played your heart out. You ran into a hot team.
A hot team indeed, Old Rochester is. They'll look to keep that heat going the rest of the way, but for now, we try to find some heat out in this cold weather. Have a wonderful night. I'm JJ Sylvia for my partner Carter Sylvia and for the entire Somerset Access TV crew. See you next time.